Hey everyone, welcome back to Clarity English Studio, your friendly space for real English conversations and practical language that works when you need it most.
Welcome back. We are really glad you are here with us today.
I'm Anna.
And I'm Mike. And Anna, today's episode is a little different from our usual ones.
It is. Today we are talking about something serious and something genuinely important.
Today's topic is how to use English in an emergency.
This is the episode we hope you never actually need.
But if you do need it, we want you to be completely ready.
Because in an emergency, panic takes over. Your mind goes blank. And if you are trying to communicate in a second language on top of that,
The pressure can feel overwhelming.
so today we are going to prepare you before anything happens, so that if something ever does,
The words are already there, calm, clear, and ready.
this is a B1 to B2 level episode, practical and clear for intermediate learners.
And if you are A2, this episode is especially important for you. Stay with us.
Before we begin, one small favor. If you learned something useful today, please like this episode, subscribe to Clarity English Studio, and share it with someone you care about.
Because this information could genuinely matter one day.
Leave a comment too. Tell us one emergency phrase you want to remember from today.
We will do a full vocabulary walkthrough at the end, so stay all the way through. All right, let us get into it.
Mike, let us start with something honest. Have you ever been in a situation where you needed help urgently and had to use a language that was not your first?
Yes, once when I was traveling abroad, I saw someone fall badly on the street.
What happened?
My first reaction was to help, but then I realized I did not know enough of the local language to explain what happened to anyone.
That helpless feeling. You want to do something, but the language isn't there.
I managed with some gestures and broken phrases, but it was stressful and slow.
And in a real emergency, slow can matter.
It really can, and that experience made me think I need to know the basics in any language I'm around regularly.
Which is exactly why this episode matters so much.
Even 10 or 15 key phrases practiced and ready can make an enormous difference.
You do not need perfect English in an emergency. You need clear, direct, simple English.
And today, we are going to give you exactly that.
Let us start with the most important phrase in any emergency in an English-speaking country.
Call 999 or 111.
In the United Kingdom and many other countries, 999 is the emergency number.
In the United States, Canada, and many others, it's 111.
In Australia, it's 000. In the European Union, you can use 112 almost everywhere.
Always know the local emergency number before you need it.
And when you call, the operator will ask you 3 basic questions.
What is your emergency? Where are you? And what is your name?
Let us practice those answers now, slowly and clearly.
What is your emergency? You say, I need an ambulance, or there's been an accident, or there's a fire.
Where are you? You say, I'm at, and give the address or location as clearly as you can.
What is your name? You say, my name is...
3 answers, short and clear. That's all you need to start the call.
And if you don't know the exact address, describe what you see. I am near a large supermarket on the main road, or I am in a park near the river.
Any landmark helps. Bus stop, hotel, school, church. Describe it. The operator will help you from there. Your job is just to start the call and stay calm.
Stay calm. Easier said than done, but slow breathing helps. 1 breath, then speak.
Now let's go through the main emergency situations one by one.
Starting with a medical emergency.
This is the most common type of emergency people face.
If someone collapses or loses consciousness, help, someone has collapsed.
He's not breathing, or she's unconscious.
If someone is having chest pain, he has chest pain and he can't breathe properly.
If someone is bleeding badly, she's bleeding heavily and I can't stop it.
If someone is having a reaction, he's having a severe allergic reaction. He needs epinephrine.
Epinephrine, also called adrenaline, it's the medicine used for serious allergic reactions.
If someone is having a seizure, She's having a seizure. She's been shaking for about 2 minutes.
A seizure, when a person's body shakes uncontrollably because of a problem in the brain.
And a phrase that works in almost any medical emergency: please send an ambulance immediately. This is urgent.
Urgent means it can't wait. It needs attention right now.
And while you wait for help, stay with the person, keep them calm, and keep talking to them.
Even simple words, "Here is coming. You are going to be okay. I'm right here."
Your voice is a form of help. Don't underestimate it.
Now, an accident or injury.
Road accidents are unfortunately very common.
If you witness or are involved in a road accident, there has been a car accident on. Give the road name or area as clearly as you can.
There are people injured. We need help urgently.
One person is trapped inside the vehicle.
Trapped means they can't get out. This is critical information for the emergency services.
The driver is conscious but in a lot of pain.
Conscious means awake and aware, the opposite of unconscious.
If someone has a broken bone, I think his leg is broken. He can't move. She fell from a height, and I am worried about her back.
Do not move someone with a possible back or neck injury unless there is immediate danger.
And if there is a danger, fire, oncoming traffic, say clearly, "I had to move him because."
Always explain your actions to the emergency operator. They guide you through everything. Now, fire and gas emergencies. If you smell gas or see smoke, act immediately.
I can smell gas in my building. I think there is a gas leak.
There is smoke coming from the apartment next door.
There is a fire on the 3rd floor. People are still inside.
The fire is spreading quickly. We need help now.
Spreading meaning moving and growing outward.
And when you call about a fire, always tell them if people are still inside the building.
There are still people inside. Please hurry.
And the key actions while waiting: get out, stay low, close doors behind you, and do not use the lift.
Never use a lift in a fire emergency. Always use the stairs.
And if you cannot get out, go to a window, shout for help, and signal with something.
I am on the 2nd floor. I cannot get out. Help me, please.
Clear, direct your location and your situation in 2 sentences.
Now, a crime or threat to safety.
This is an area where having the right language really matters.
If you witness a crime, I just witnessed a robbery outside.
Someone just broke into my car in the car park.
There is a man behaving very threateningly near the station.
Threateningly, in a way that feels dangerous or violent.
If you are being followed, I think someone is following me. I am scared.
I do not feel safe. Can you please stay on the line with me?
Stay on the line, meaning stay connected on the phone call. Do not hang up.
The operator can stay with you, track your location, and guide you to safety.
If there is a threat in a public place, there is a suspicious bag left unattended at the station.
Suspicious, something that seems wrong or dangerous.
Unattended, left alone with nobody watching it.
These words are very specific and very important for security situations.
And if you ever feel unsafe in any situation, move toward people, move toward light, and call for help.
Do not stay alone and do not stay silent.
Now let's talk about something very important, describing a person or situation to emergency services.
Because they will often ask, can you describe what is happening? Can you describe the person?
And you need to be able to answer clearly and quickly.
For describing a person, start with the basics: height, build, age, clothing.
He's about 180 centimeters tall, medium build, around 30 years old.
She's wearing a red jacket and dark jeans, short brown hair.
He has a beard and glasses. He was carrying a large black bag.
For describing a vehicle, color, type, and any numbers you can see.
It was a dark blue saloon car. I think the number plate started with P.
Saloon car, a standard 4-door car with a boot.
Any detail is useful, even partial information helps.
And for describing an injury or condition, be factual and calm.
She is breathing, but very slowly. He has a deep cut on his arm. She is pale and very cold.
Pale, very light in color, often a sign someone is in shock.
In shock, a medical state where the body is not getting enough blood flow, a serious emergency.
These descriptions sound simple, but in a real emergency, they feel hard to find.
Which is why practicing them now, even just reading them aloud, builds real readiness. And let's talk about something that doesn't get covered enough often: helping someone else communicate in an emergency.
Because sometimes you're the bystander. Someone near you is hurt or in trouble and they can't speak English well.
In that case, you become the bridge.
She doesn't speak English. I'm trying to help her.
He is in pain but cannot explain it. I will try to describe what I can see.
Can you speak more slowly? We are trying to understand.
These phrases tell the operator the situation and ask for their patience.
And to the person you're helping, even if they don't understand your English.
Your calm voice, your eye contact, and your presence communicate safety.
It's okay. Help is coming. I'm here.
Said slowly, with eye contact and a steady voice, these words cross any language barrier.
Because tone carries meaning even when words don't fully land.
Be the calm person in the emergency. Other people around you will follow your energy. Now let's talk about preparing yourself before any emergency happens.
Because the best time to learn these phrases is right now, not when you need them.
Step 1. Save the local emergency number in your phone with a clear label.
Not just a number, label it Emergency UK or Emergency US so you find it instantly.
Step 2. Know your current address or location well enough to describe it.
When you move to a new area or travel somewhere, take 30 seconds to notice your surroundings.
What street are you on? What is the nearest landmark?
Step 3. Learn 3 to 5 key phrases in the local language, even if English is your primary language there.
Because bilingual emergencies do happen, and a few words in the local language can open doors.
Step 4. Practice saying emergency phrases out loud, not just reading them, actually saying them.
Because your mouth needs to know these words, not just your eyes.
The more you have said something, even in practice, the more easily it comes when pressure is high.
Step 5. Tell someone you trust your key health information in English.
Any allergies, any medications, any conditions a doctor would need to know.
I am allergic to penicillin. I am diabetic. I have asthma.
These short sentences could matter enormously in a medical emergency.
Write them down. Keep them in your wallet or on your phone. All right, let us do our calm vocabulary walkthrough now.
A slow and careful walk through today's most important words and phrases.
Take your time with these. They are worth knowing deeply.
First, emergency.
An emergency is a sudden, serious situation that requires immediate action.
Example, please send help. This is an emergency.
Or, in an emergency, stay as calm as possible and speak clearly.
Emergency, emergency.
Next, unconscious.
Unconscious means a person is not awake and cannot be woken up. They are unresponsive.
Example, he fell and he is now unconscious. Please send an ambulance.
Or, she is breathing but unconscious. I do not know what happened.
Unconscious, unconscious.
Next, urgent.
Urgent means something requires immediate attention. It cannot wait.
This is urgent. She is not breathing.
Or, please come quickly. It is urgent.
Urgent, urgent.
Next, conscious.
Conscious means a person is awake and aware of what is happening around them.
Example, he is conscious but in a lot of pain.
Or, she is conscious and she can hear me, but she cannot move her leg.
Conscious, conscious.
Next, trapped.
Trapped means a person cannot get out of a place. They are stuck and need help to escape.
Example: she is trapped inside the car. The door will not open.
Or, there are people trapped on the upper floors.
Trapped. Trapped.
Next, seizure.
A seizure is when a person's body shakes uncontrollably due to abnormal electrical activity in the brain.
Example: she is having a seizure. She has been shaking for about a minute.
Or, this is his first seizure. He has no history of this.
Seizure. Seizure.
Next, suspicious.
Suspicious means something or someone seems wrong, unusual, or potentially dangerous.
Example: there's a suspicious package left unattended near the entrance.
Or, a man has been behaving suspiciously outside the building for the last hour.
Suspicious. Suspicious.
Next, unattended.
Unattended means left alone with nobody watching or caring for it.
Example: there's an unattended bag on the platform. Nobody has come back for it.
Or, never leave children unattended in a public place.
Unattended. Unattended.
Next, stay on the line.
Stay on the line means do not hang up the phone. Keep the call connected.
Example: please stay on the line. Help is on the way.
Or, I was scared, and the operator told me to stay on the line.
Stay on the line. Stay on the line.
Next, in shock.
In shock is a medical state where the body is not getting enough blood circulation. It can be life-threatening.
Signs include very pale skin, cold and clammy, rapid breathing, and confusion.
Example: he seems to be in shock. He is pale, cold, and not responding normally.
Or, after the accident, she went into shock and needed immediate treatment.
In shock. In shock.
And our last phrase, help is coming.
This simple phrase communicates that emergency services have been called and are on their way.
Example: help is coming. Just stay still and keep breathing.
Or, you're going to be okay. Help is coming. I'm right here with you.
Help is coming. Help is coming. Now it's your turn. Leave a comment today.
Tell us, which phrase from today do you want to memorize first? Or is there an emergency situation we didn't cover that you want us to address in a future episode?
We want to know, and we want to help. If this episode was useful, please like it, subscribe to Clarity English Studio, and share it with someone you care about.
Because the best time to learn emergency English is before you ever need it.
Thank you so much for being here with us today. You spent this time well.
Stay safe, stay prepared, and keep building your English every day.
This was Clarity English Studio with Anna and Mike.
Until next time, be ready, be calm, and be kind.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, and please share this one. It matters.